Hey everyone, what's up? It's Sarah and welcome back to my channel. This video is not a fun video. I am outraged. I am fucking outraged. News broke last night after a very long bail hearing that Josh Duggar has been granted bail and he will be released not to his family but to a third party, and I'm going to touch on that in a moment. While he awaits his trial for his CP case. There are many legal analysts that are going to be giving more of a expert opinion on the case, so I would highly recommend watching channels like Emily D. Baker, even Fundie Fridays, I know is covering it. People Magazine is doing a really good job covering it. So I will link a People Magazine article for further reading, but I highly suggest especially Emily D. Baker and Fundie Fridays if you want the kind of more details about it, because this is really just a reaction video. Additionally, with Fundie Fridays, if you want kind of a more in-depth look at the Duggar family and this kind of toxic environment that they've created, I will link her video. She did a really good in-depth video on the Duggars, and I think when you look at the totality of this culture and this family dynamic that they've created, you can see why people are outraged that Josh Duggar was granted bail and granted bail to be monitored or supervised by family friends. It just makes absolutely no sense. Okay, so People Magazine, and again, like I said before, I'll link the article. Josh's defense and the reason why he requested bail and his reason for saying, hey, I'm worthy of bail, was he argued in the motion that he is demonstrably not a flight risk, citing that he has known about his federal investigation since November and that he has no previous criminal convictions. I'm going to touch on that in a second. The motion further argued that because Duggar is a public figure, it is unreasonable to view him as a flight risk. Duggar has a widely recognizable face and has spent the majority of his life in the public spotlight, making any concern that he is a risk of flight all the more unwarranted. I completely disagree with this. Hello, Roman Polanski. Hello. He has not stepped foot in decades onto American soil because he would have to face charges, I think from like the 60s. So saying that just because he's famous or recognizable and that he's not a flight risk is bullshit. That is bullshit. And furthermore, because the family has gone to great lengths to downplay his behavior and his predilections, if you will, I don't believe that he wouldn't be helped in said endeavor if he really did want to flee. The American prison system is not kind to child diddlers, so I can see why he would really want to avoid prison time. So yeah, I don't think him being famous makes him not a flight risk. That is ridiculous. Additionally, him having no criminal history, well, yeah, you don't have a criminal history because your parents suppressed this information, kept it from the authorities, and when it finally was presented to the authorities, the statute of limitations ran out. My God! I'm sorry. I am so hot right now because this is just ridiculous. You would have had a criminal history. You should have a criminal history. But I digress. I don't find merit myself with any of his reasonings for why he should be let out on bail. But that's just me as like a lay person, not legal expert, just a member of American society that doesn't believe that Josh Duggar is fit to walk amongst us. But let's go through some of really the reasons why I have a problem with him being granted bail. So he is being released into the supervision of church friends of Jim Bob. We saw that in 2002 when Josh was 14 years old and all of the allegations came out against him, to which he has admitted to, involving his own sisters. And that is going to be important in another point that I want to make regarding him having visitation with his children. But it was family friends that took him in and tried to like cure him themselves. He was sent off to a camp. I think if anything, a show of good faith would have been him being released to like a halfway house or something like that, where there literally would not be electronics. Is this family capable or qualified to really monitor the types of things? They didn't even know about the true nature of what he was being accused of. So, I don't think that this family is really qualified to keep him out of trouble or to make sure that he is abiding by the terms of his release. So another thing that I have a problem with him being granted bail is I don't think that Josh will abide by the terms of his release. I don't think he's an upstanding, honest member of society. He claims that he's cooperating with authorities and the investigation. Cool, that's great. But he, in procuring these images, he has used software which is the dark web, and it's unmonitored, and that's how his wife had no idea what was going on. We're going to talk about Covenant Eyes in just a second. But he has shown that he will use measures to evade detection. So I don't think that that qualifies him for bail, in my opinion. Now I want to talk about Anna, his wife, for just a moment. And I've seen really like two camps when it comes to people's opinions of her. On the one hand, people empathize with her. They think that she has grown up in a really oppressive environment for women, and that is especially being involved in the Duggar family. Women are really subservient. They're seen as second class, and that she might not feel like she has really any rights or any options when it comes to getting away from Josh or the Duggar family. On another hand, and I kind of am leaning myself into this camp, people are really losing any sympathy that they had for her, because if she stands by him, then she is complicit in endangering her children. And probably Children and Family Services should look at if that household is fit for those children to live in. I know that that seems like a bold statement to make, but the nature of the allegations against Josh and the fact that he has acted, he's not just a voyeur, he's not just looking at these images, he has acted on his predilections in the past. And to me, I lose sympathy for someone who would knowingly put minor children in this man's area or in his company. That's just, you have to put yourself and your children, their safety, as a priority. And I guess I don't know Anna Duggar. I don't know the kind of environment or the kind of manipulation she's endured over the years. So she may very well feel like she can't get out, but at the same time, then the proper authorities need to come in and put those children first. Let's talk for a second about this Covenant Eyes software. So this was software that was installed, I believe it was after the Ashley Madison incident in 2015, where Josh came out saying he had a porn addiction. So this Covenant Eyes software was installed on his computer, and Anna is his like accountability partner. So she is the one that, like, if he were looking at any kind of inappropriate images or, I don't know, on Pornhub for too long, like, it would send her an alert. Well, Josh, by way of his wife, by way of his parents, has had zero accountability in his life. He's done horrific things and continues to do horrific things and has had no accountability. It is concerning to me that he is being allowed supervised visits with his children, and that the supervisor is not anyone court appointed. It's Anna. I don't think she's really capable of keeping Josh's nose out of trouble. I have maintained, and it's of my opinion and my opinion only, that Josh's children are not safe around him. They're not safe in his custody. I think they are at risk for being victimized. And I had a couple people reach out and tell me that usually people like Josh don't victimize their own family members or their own children, but Josh has. He went after his own sisters. I don't think that his children are exempt from being potential victims. So, in my opinion, I don't think he should have any visitation with his children, and it should be his children's decision when they reach legal age, 18, if they want to contact Josh. That sounds extreme, but this is an extreme situation. Another reason why I disagree with this judge's decision to grant bail is that all of this is really being, there's a parole officer, but other than that, this is all reliant on Josh's family to monitor him, which they have failed to do in the past. So I disagree with that. In 2019, when Josh's where he was working at a used car lot was raided by the authorities, that was due to this investigation and these allegations and these accusations. And what did Jim, Bob, and Michelle do? They they had Anna and Josh and their family move onto their property, and they shielded them for 2 years. In that time, Anna has produced more children for Josh. She's pregnant with his 7th child, a girl, and that is so alarming. And just, it's like I say things like as a parent, but it's like I don't think that you need to be a parent to realize that this is all so out of rational thinking. I think Josh has proven to not be fit to walk amongst everyday people. Another thing is Josh has proven that what the family's tactics that they've used to put him on a road to rehabilitation doesn't work. And it seems that the family is of the mindset that Josh is being commanded by Satan or controlled by Satan, demonically possessed or something. I don't know. But whatever they're doing, whatever their tactics are, is not working. Josh is not rehabilitated. He is a recidivist. He is going to continue to do these things because he thinks that he is above getting in trouble, because time and time again, he has not been held accountable for his actions. He was a teenager when all the things came out regarding his sisters, and there were other victims as well. Now he is 33 years old, father of 7, and he's still doing the same things. Another thing I wanted to read to you guys was that the Homeland Security agent that testified at his bail hearing described the images that Josh had on his computer as in the top 5 of the worst that he's ever had to examine. And that's horrifying to think about. Josh Duggar is a monster. He is a monster. And I don't understand why this judge granted him bail. I know Emily D. Baker will break down the legalities of everything, but I know that judges do have discretion in these instances, and when I've talked when I talked about seeking sister wives and Crystaline's request for a protective order against the Snowdens, I had said that I thought that the judge should err on the side of caution because it's better safe than sorry. And what kind of backlash will there be if Josh skips town, if Josh victimizes someone while he's out on bail? That's completely possible. And it's like, do you want to risk the safety of children? I don't know. And those are just my thoughts. So you guys let me know your thoughts. I wasn't initially going to talk about Josh Duggar and this situation, but I've been so like impassioned. I've been like screaming about it to my husband. So I just have to come on here and vent about it to you guys. I have watched 19 Kids and Counting here and there. I've seen some of the specials with like Counting On and stuff. Not like fully an expert or anything on their family, but definitely watch the Fundie Friday video on the Duggars, and it makes all of this completely predictable. When you establish a family dynamic like that, you will have people like Josh that are offenders being protected, and that's disgusting. So anyways, you guys, let me know your thoughts. As more information comes out, I'll be back, I'm sure, to talk about it, because this is like therapeutic. I'm just like, and maybe because it's like, this isn't affecting me personally, like why am I so enraged about it? But it's like, you know, we trust the system to protect our kids, and it's not a perfect system. It's a fucking broken system. But when you see instances like this where there's someone so blatantly and brazenly out there doing things like this, and then they're just trusted to be amongst society while they're awaiting their trial, is unreal. It's just really unreal. So anyways, you guys, make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Reality Squad, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Have a good one. Much love.